Disclaimer: the following is a non-profit fan-based review. Black Clover is owned by Crunchyroll, Viz Media, Studio Pieria, TV Tokyo, Shueisha, and Yuki Tabata. Please support the official release. While 5 members of the Ryuzen 7 fend off against the 5-headed dragon and the paladins, Asta resumes his Zenten training with their strongest member, but there are doubts that plague his mind. How does he overcome it? We'll see soon. Hey guys, LA1997 and welcome back to page 345 of Black Clover. And in this chapter, we finally learned the names of the last 3 members of the Ryuzen 7. However, we still don't know what their magic is yet. Although for the Straw Hat Man, who will reveal his name in just a bit, I might have an idea of what his magic would be, and it's not what I originally thought. Also, this chapter gives us some insight about Asta's inner conflict with himself and how he's losing his conviction. So, what happened in the chapter? Let's find out. The chapter begins with a flashback, again, but this time after Asta's training with Ichika. Ryuya explains to them about the enemy approaching the country and will likely destroy it. Asta wants to help them, but Ryuya tells him no because he still needs to complete his training with Zenten, and if he ain't focused, he will lose to him. And by him, I think he's referring to Lucius. We cut back to the prison on where we see Asta in his black form fighting against their strongest member of the Ryuzen 7, and so far, he's not doing well. But thankfully, he's getting help from the guitarist's Yojutsu, which allows Asta to take less damage and regain his strength. This is where we learn the names of these mysterious men. For their strongest member, his name is Yosuga Mushogatsuki. I'm so sorry if I butchered that last part. And for the guitarist is Fujio Tenma-yashiki. I hope I pronounced that, because at least that was a little easier, I hope. So far, I can see why Ryuya sent these two to train Asta. For Fujio, he's calm, collective, and plus, he has a cat companion with him, which is so cute. And even though we don't know what his Yojutsu is yet, we can tell that his is more support-based rather than offensive-based, as we see him lending his power to Asta. So, in a way, his support magic reminds me a bit of Wendy Marvell's Dragon Slayer enhancement spells from Fairy Tail, which increases the speed, strength, and defense on the person she cast onto. Also, it's funny I compare Fujio's support magic to Wendy's, considering that they both had cat companions with them. What a coincidence. Funny. As for Yosuga, I will admit I was a little annoyed that he's saying that he is the strongest, and not to mention he's giving a lot of Jack the Ripper vibes, not just in appearance and personality, but also the way how he fights too. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if his Yojutsu is like Jack's magic. Again, the parallels between the Clover Kingdom and the Land of the Sun continue to surprise me. But despite that, we do see why he is the strongest. It's like he said, to him, there is nothing he can cut with his blade, and that he could cut everything he sees no matter what. He's strong because that's his belief. And despite the cocky nature he has, there's a reason why Ryuya chose him to complete Asta's training, and even he knows this too. As the train continues, Yosuga notices the hesitation in Asta. He tells him that he's hesitating in using his demon slasher because his conviction isn't solid. Now, Asta doesn't want to admit it out loud, but he knows that he's right. Before all this started, things were going great for Asta. I mean, not only was he promoted, he was also praised by the 99 captains and was earning the love and respect from those around him for everything he has done for the kingdom. Things were going great and he was this close to achieving his goal. And yet, he couldn't able to save Sister Lily or even beat Lucius. When he arrived at the Land of the Sun, he was impatient on going back there, didn't think he couldn't be more strong, or even beat Ichika. He even thought of a what-if scenario if Yuno had been there to protect Sister Lily instead of himself. If he had been there to face Lucius, maybe they would have won. But if you ask me, I don't think so. On one hand, Yuno would have definitely protected Sister Lily and may have prevented her from becoming a paladin against Lucius. But on the other hand, I don't think Yuno would have beat him. Sure, Yuna may have 2 grimoires and the wind spirit Bell and may have been able to land 1 or 2 hits on him, but in terms of actually beating him, I don't think so, because Lucius would have foresaw this and countered Yuna's attacks and maybe turned him into his top paladin instead of Sister Lily. So not only Asta is losing his conviction, but he's doubting himself. That to him is his greatest failure. That's why Yusuke pointed out this hesitation and tells him to go on and let it all out. We don't know what happens yet, but judging by from Asta's expression, he may finally come to the realization, and hopefully now he'll be able to bounce back and to help them. And speaking of that, while Asta is completing his training, we cut back to the battle with the other 5 members going up against the 5-headed dragon and the paladins. And remember that swordswoman from the last chapter? Well, we finally see what she can do. At first glance, she looks to be shy and scared at facing the beast, and feels as though that this will be the end of her miserable life.
Oh, why must every 11 minutes of my life be filled with misery? Why?
Sister Lily, meanwhile, assures her that she will make her death painless, while Ichigo just basically tells her to quit with the act and draw your sword. She replies by saying, "Oh, you're such an orc, Ichigo-chan!" But at the moment she draws her sword, that's where her true nature is revealed. The chapter ends with her name to be revealed to be Gin no Jo Morifuno Kizokaku. I'm so sorry. Or for short, Kizo will be fine. And claiming that there will be a blood miss. And Sister Lily, with a surprised look, now remarks her as a vigor one. Honestly, I've seen scary swordswomen before, and she'll probably fall into this category too when we see her in action next chapter. Now, from what we see for her so far, she looks to have a split personality. When she isn't drawing her sword, she's this shy and frightened girl that feels like she can die at any time. But when she does draw her sword, she becomes a completely different person and becomes this bloodthirsty psycho that's looking to kill. But despite that, like with Yosuga, we still don't know what her Jujutsu is yet. And hopefully in the next chapter, we're not only going to see what she possesses, but we're going to see just how strong she really is. You know, while I did enjoy meeting the last 3 members of the Ryuzen 7, I do wish we could have seen them a bit early during Asta's training and fleshed them out a bit more rather than introducing them in the last minute when the paladins invaded the country and rushing Asta's training. But then again, I'm not surprised considering that the pacing of the manga is fast. When an arc starts, we immediately get to the action. Afterwards, we take a breather, but then after 2 or 3 chapters, we immediately get back to the action. But just because it has a fast pace, that still doesn't take away my enjoyment of the series. As for my thoughts about the last 3 members, for Yosuga, he may act like a hotshot, but this chapter does show how powerful he is despite not revealing his Ryujutsu yet. For Fujio, I like him so far. Like I said, he's calm, collective, and plus his cat is cute. I mean, who doesn't like cats? And lastly for Kizo, she's cute and shy, but very deadly when she fights. So again, if they were introduced earlier, maybe we would have liked them more. But honestly, the main highlight of this chapter is mainly about Asta losing his conviction. And while it is sad that Asta can't get over about what happened with Sister Lily, he needs to realize that he needs to overcome this if he wants to get stronger. So in the next few or so chapters, we'll be able to see Asta back in action to help defend the country and possibly save Sister Lily. But what do you guys think? Is there anything I may have missed or mistaken when covering the chapter? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below, alright? Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing so far and want to see more, please be sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified for the next update, okay? Thank you, good night, and remember, the match within you will never give up. Peace!